What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sir Love, and it's another episode of Ask Sir Love. And what we do is we answer questions that you all have. So let's take a look at a question that was just submitted. All right? Well, not just submitted, that was submitted. So Michelangelo Parker said, "Great video, man. I have a question though. Why is Roddy Ricch signed through Warner Music Australia? Is this common? Is this common? Great question. I think I spoke about this before, but let's go ahead and elaborate a little bit. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that right now I'm 100% aware of all of Roddy Ricch's legal scenarios, what he's in, what he's doing, who he's signed to, and how it's done, right? I'm not particularly vested in his career. I don't have relationships. I don't do business with his people, right? But I do understand why artists end up in scenarios where they're signed to labels like this that represent other countries, and it may not make sense. This is the reason. When you sign a record deal, you do not have to sign that deal and use the word universal or worldwide. It's commonly known in music contracts that there will be language like I have universal rights or universal licensing rights in perpetuity throughout the world, right? That type of language is in contracts all the time, which basically means whoever you sign to has 100% of the rights to work your music and promote your music and make all the money off your music globally, worldwide, universally, globally, any country on the planet, right? And perpetuity means for the rest of your life until you die and beyond your death. Like in perpetuity basically means forever, infinitely. All right, that language is very common. If you're not in agreement with that language, which you should pretty much never be in agreement with that language, if you're not in agreement with that language, you have the opportunity to say, no, I want to limit my relationship with you to just the United States. And I'm going to sign another deal with someone else in another country, and another deal with someone else in another country, and someone else in another country, right? That may be the way your lawyer structured it. It may be the way that your deal is structured, that if you're signed with Warner, for example, in this example in the U.S., that you would have to sign with Warner in Australia and Warner in these other places or whatever. There's a lot of innuendos your contract can go into. I know Ed Sheeran is famously known for being signed by different entities in different places, and the reason you do this is because, truthfully, there is no one that's an expert everywhere, right? I mean, if you know the nooks and crannies of how to break a record in the United States, it works completely different in Germany. It works completely different in Australia, completely different in the Caribbean, completely different in South America. Completely, you get the point. Every country has a different system of how records are broken. There are different processes. There are different people. There are different networks. There are different clubs. There are different. Everything's different. I mean, it's different in the United States, state to state. If you're in Georgia, how to break a record in Atlanta is very different than how to break a record in LA, which is different than how to break a record in New York, which is different than how to break a record in Texas or Chicago or Nashville. All hubs of places where people break records, and they all do it differently, right? So you think about how much complexity there is in breaking a record in just the United States. Think about how much complexity there is in breaking a record worldwide. When on any one particular continent, there are multiple countries with different processes in best practices, different PROs, different lawyers, different radio stations. Everything's different. So I did all that elaboration to tell you how things are different to say that sometimes you want to sign with a local person that knows how best to execute in that particular region. So you may sign different deals with different entities for different regions to maximize your results. I am pretty confident that Roddy Ricch has done something like that because every time, well, at that time period, I'll go back. This is a year ago when this comment was made. It's 2023 right now. However, I recall 2020. I was in London. The box just hit. I had flew out to London and had some business out there, and put the box. Whatever record that was, right? That the box record, it was huge. It was crazy. It was crazy in the United States. It came out. I'm in the A. I'm thinking, man, this dude biting A style. I mean, he's from the West Coast, but he sound like he from the South. This is crazy. I don't know how we're gonna respond to this. Dude took off. It was crazy. I saw posters of this man on every street corner in Atlanta. What was different than all the other artists that were breaking in Atlanta and music that was breaking in LA and other places is that when I was in London, I saw pictures of him on a lot of major corners in London. I went downtown Soho, London, the box, pictures everywhere. That same trip, that year, I went from, I was 2 months, I was moving around for 2 months. I went from Germany to London to Singapore to Malaysia to Korea and then back home to Atlanta in a 2 month period. I heard that record in every fucking country, and I went to clubs in all the countries except for Korea, and I watched crowds go crazy. I watched posters up in the main areas in every last one of those. Maybe not Malaysia, not Malaysia. Well, did I see it? I know Singapore, Germany, and London. Street team was working. That just gives you perspective, right? Is your national label presence that strong internationally, right? When you go and look at sales, like you can go right now you can go to Wikipedia and you can look at Eminem, right? Matter of fact, we can do it. Why not? Let's do it together. Why not? Make this an educational moment, make this fun, right? You can pick any artist. I'm going to pick Eminem because I know he's someone that they spend a lot of time shuffling back and forth on how they're going to promote him abroad, right? Wikipedia, Eminem, sales, right? Eminem sold 227 million records. Crazy, right? And the best-selling artist of all time, right? Look at what he's doing across in different regions, right? These are singles, but look at the promotion. Look at the promotion in Ireland, right? Look at New Zealand. Look at Sweden. He was number 2 in the UK, right? During this time period, he was only 36 in the US on that single. Hi, my name is, right? How does that happen? Then the real Slim Shady. Look at the records. Look at how he's being promoted across these different regions. Now I don't want to just focus on the singles. Let's get to some of the album sales. Where are the album sales? Where are the albums? Where are the albums? I'm looking at a bunch of singles, guest appearances. I know I can take the time to find it, but I don't want all of you all to get bored watching me do it. There are some albums. I saw Infinite. Nope, these are still records. Featured artists, Lucky You, this down the third. All right, I gotta find. There's another chart that I looked at recently that really had a great spread on Eminem, his records, how well he's doing, how he did it. Was it Discogs? I don't know who did it. But regardless of which, if you looked at the information that I just showed you, right? If you go back to that and you look at the fact that my guy's being promoted in all of these different environments and he's getting all of these different methodologies for platinum. See, in the United States, we use RIAA to determine what is platinum, and we have our own rules, but different countries have different rules on what is platinum. So to be platinum in New Zealand is completely different than to be platinum in the United States, right? And it's a completely different vibe. So this dude has sold millions and millions and millions of records, but it's also because there's a concentrated promotional approach in different regions that allows him to hit those types of numbers. Same thing happens in movies, film, things of that nature. I'm doing a lot of stuff with syncs. We're doing a lot of stuff with, I almost said it, I can't say it. We're doing a lot of stuff with a lot of movie producers and whatnot. And it's the same type of thing. Where you promote, right, you typically sell more. However, you can take a loss in any particular region. So you may say, I'm going to put $1 million in the US, we're going to put 500 in the UK, we're going to put this here, we're going to put that there. But every time you invest in a particular market, you can lose in that market. You can win in market A and lose in market B, right? And so if you don't have experience in market B, then why would you gamble there? So labels could be risk adverse, meaning they don't want to take the risk, and they won't move into those markets that you may want to promote. You may want to be a global international artist. One of the reasons, if you watch 50 Cent just did an interview with Big Boy, right, out of LA, and talked about how, a part of why he's internationally successful is because he was signed to Shady Aftermath. Eminem's international footprint is huge. So when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich or Die Trying, being backed by Eminem, it's not that just because he got shot, 9 times that made him a huge success, or all the drama that he had going on in New York, or the fact that he had all these hot records and all these mixtapes. And it wasn't just that. It was also that his international sales were freaking crazy as well. And why is that? Because he was signed to this dude who's an international stud, and he was working the shady system. So if you look up 50 Cent, right, we're going to see something similar. We're going to see something similar, guaranteed. I haven't even looked at this. Let's go find it. Is it in here? Let's scroll down. Guaranteed. If not, I'm going to be wrong in front of everybody. If they're not, are they going to show it? All right. I don't have time to go looking through this right now. You guys probably don't want to watch me do it anyway. But if we go back and look at his international sales, I guarantee you he did significant numbers abroad. And that's because of that system. Everyone's not getting that system. Apparently, Roddy Ricch does have that system, and that's why you saw what you saw. So I hope this was helpful. This is a longer video than I typically do, but yeah, I thought that was just a great freaking question to talk about that. A lot of people don't really pay attention and catch in on that, and as a part of your deal negotiation and structure, if you believe that you have international appeal, you should be negotiating rights in such a way where you're only giving certain people rights to certain portions. You may say, hey, I'm cool with, you're giving me $1 million budget to promote, but $1 million isn't going to cover the world. $1 million can only cover the United States. So I'm only going to grant you United States rights to my name and my music and my masters and stand a third. I'm going to cut another deal with someone else somewhere else. Just approaching a deal that way is going to change their perspective. They're, of course, going to want to look at your international numbers and see what they look like and see if what you're saying is valid. But, it's definitely something to consider. All right? I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little bit about a lot. Try and give you guys everything that I got, and I want you to send a thank you. Send a thank you. Pay a tuition. You're learning for free, right? Pay a tuition. Go ahead and download the business right there. Download the business. Go to the site. See all the amazing stuff that I put together for you. And if you have a question, ask it. I need stuff to talk about. And if you guys don't ask questions, I can't talk about anything. So thank you for your time. I'm out.